So pit, oh yeah, Yinzeritas.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Yinzeritas. We are supported by Yinzercrazy.com and brought to you by the Goat Sports Bar. It is located in Seven Fields, and they have a lot of local spirits, craft beer, a wide range of their food menu. So if you're ever up in that area and you want to catch a pirate game, make sure you stop by the Goat Sports Bar. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the original shows and weekly content. And I am with my lovely co-host, Jane, today.
Howdy, howdy. What's up?
Matching blondes today.
Yeah, blondes and black tank tops.
Black tank top, gold necklace, blonde.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. We hit
uniform. Uniform. So what's new with you?
Oh, nothing too crazy. I'm back down in South Carolina. So enjoying that southern heat before it gets far too hot. What about you?
It's not a thing for me, being far too hot. Like, you can get cooler. Like, just stay warm. Yeah, I wish it was like that. But I'm good. I'm just busy. And I'm actually very excited about our guest today. We have a dual interview today with Stanley Cup winning Max Talbot and lefty Pirate pitcher Stephen Brault. And both very entertaining in a very different way. If sports fans know what I mean. Mr. Talbot here is going to be our first guest. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, welcome to Yinzeritas. I'm Jane and beautiful Lexi. We thank you for taking the time to hang out with us and chat. We definitely have a few questions for you. One kind of starting off with that you were a legend in Pittsburgh. You did the hockey life, you crushed it in that scene, and now you're kind of in the next chapter of your life, right? You're a dad, post-professional athlete. What is that like? You know, what's your day-to-day? What's changed? How is that?
Well, if an ex-athlete tells you transition is easy, I'll tell you he's a liar, because it's challenging. You know, it's not easy because all we know and all we do is hockey, and it's very tough, but at the same time, you're like a child, right? You got your routine, everybody at what time you eat, what time you got to get to the rink, what workouts you need to do. It's very kind of easy and supervised. So when you get out in the real world, okay, what do I do now? And you have to find a new passion, because I give the example of, you know, once I retired, I was like in the middle of the ocean and I can't see any land. I got to find my bearings into the real world and see what are my interests, how I can, you know, still provide for the family, what gets me going in the morning, because there's not a lot of work or job that kind of you can do that is a game. There is some options, but playing hockey is a game. Imagine you're with 20 buddies, 25 buddies every day. You're in a plane ride, you eat well, you work out, you talk shit. And you work together to achieve a common goal. So it's the perfect job. So once you're done playing, you gotta, okay, what do I like? What can I do that will bring me the same intensity in my life? And there's not a lot of things. So I've been away from hockey for 2 years now, and I've been very fortunate to have great opportunities that I do TV now back here in Montreal. In the media with my best friend. We have our own show that we do every week, so that's fun, and I help some younger hockey players try to achieve their dreams. So I'm kind of not a role model, but a mentor for them, so I can teach. I like to coach, and I can kind of like help them achieve their dream, which is rewarding in some ways. So I can't complain at all.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, you know, going off of that, mentally, it's a huge transition, playing, having that camaraderie, teammates. So physically, how would you say, like, you know, was there anything now that you're like, oh, my left elbow hurts every single day? Or, you know, how has that transition been too? Because you're not getting the same, I'm guessing, therapy and, you know, that kind of thing day to day.
Yeah, well, you go back, let's say 5-10 years when it was the peak of my career, 10 years maybe. We were tougher in our bodies also, you know, concussions were not really, you had one, and especially for a third, fourth liner, you were like, I got to stay in lineup. So I'll just, you know, have a couple of beers after, and let's not do that, young guys watching me right now. But, you know, you have a couple beers and you're like, oh, you know, your headache in the morning, and you're like, oh, it's because of the beers, not because of the concussion. So there was some stuff like that it was not very smart. But looking back, I'm very blessed. I played kind of the rough style a little bit, but I'm good. There's my left leg that I broke while I was playing for the Flyers. That's still, I walk in the golf course today, and sometimes my knee just gives out, and I'm like, so I look like super stupid. I'm just walking normally to my ball, go, I got it, and my wife always laughs at me when that happens, because I scream very loud, like kind of like, it's awful. But so there are these injuries, but at the same time, you have to find the resources, like you said, because you're babied when you play in the NHL, right? You have all the resources around you that can help you be the best athlete you can be. But once you're done, I've been really into meditation, and now I'm getting certified into breathing right now from the center in Stockholm, and using breath work, and I'm into wellness and mental health, and all these things that I try to do for me, for mental performance, but also for the kids. I got 3 kids, and for my friends and family, help them, kind of, I'm a very curious guy, so I try to, get as much information as I can, and try to, stay fit and work out also, because it's part of it's the antidepressant, right? If you can get little workout.
Get those endorphins flowing.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of kids, how's dad life? Is that just as hard or harder than being a professional hockey player?
It's different. It's challenging. You get the kids that I guess you're supposed to have, meaning like they'll challenge you and they'll make you. It's not the kids are supposed to adapt to you, right? You're supposed to adapt, and they're probably teaching me more than I'm teaching them in a way. I'm always in a hurry, always trying to be on time. My kids are like, chill, dad, and that annoys me. But they're teaching me a bunch of stuff, right? But it's demanding. It's a full-time job. Obviously, middle of the night, they're coming in, they're crushing your balls with their elbows when they come.
There's no days off.
No, they wet the bell still. They wet the bed still, and you wake up, you're full of urine. It's very challenging, but it's but it's the best thing in the world, because they're beautiful little specimen that brings you so much love and joy, and that's the real purpose at the end of the day, right? It's to give them as much as you can and watch them grow, which is very fulfilling.
That's awesome.
Pittsburgh yet?
Jax and Lou, actually, one of my favorite lady in the world, Pam Angel, which I say hi. She was my mom when I was in Pittsburgh. She was helping me with my foundation, and she was my second mom. So she texted me this morning that 2 years ago I was in Pittsburgh for a Pittsburgh game and playoff, and I was there with my 2 oldest, but my youngest one was oh no, that's not 2 years, that's freaking 5 years ago.
When they were
in playoff against Nashville and San Jose in the finals. And I was there, and they kind of gave me a little like hi. I had to swing the towel and everything, so Pam actually babysat her youngest one, but Jackson was 2 years old, so he was there, but he didn't really. I want to bring him to a Steelers game, a Pirates game, Penguins game, and do a little weekend, October. So
definitely do that. That would be awesome.
Of course.
Well, getting more into why you're here in your hockey career. So you drafted by the Penguins. You spend your first part of your career in Pittsburgh. You quickly turned into a Pittsburgh treasure, very well loved here. And then
dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Like the worst thing that could have happened to the city. You went to the Flyers. Now, knowing the rivalry there, that's all you knew, being in Pittsburgh, what were your first thoughts?
I realized it was a business at some point in those negotiations where I was free agent. I was 27 years old, and we obviously tried to make it work with Pittsburgh. I wanted to stay there for the rest of my life. That was the plan. But once you realize that that on one way there's a 2-year contract and other team offers you 5 for a third, fourth liner. You're like, okay, at one point I gotta think about my future and myself. And then you look at the list of teams, because back in the days, there was no period where you could actually talk to teams and see who's interested, who's not. You kind of knew, but not really. And then July 1st at noon, then you had the team calling. So it was a very fast process. And these team called, and to me, after leaving Pitt, I was looking for wins again. I wanted to win another Stanley Cup, and at that point, from all the teams that called, Philly was the closest to be able to win. They signed Brizgalov, Jagger. So to me, it was like, okay, they're making the moves to go all the way. So that was my first thought. Then I'm like, oh, wait, it's the Flyers. You look at all the things and you're like, oh, right. Okay.
I'm just giving you a hard time. As much as everyone here in Pittsburgh takes sports so personally, at the end of the day, it's a business. People need to, feed their families and plan long term. But it definitely hurt me. It hurt my heart. But
you hurt Lexi's feelings, okay?
You hurt my feelings.
But it's
coming from, go ahead.
No, but I don't want to even. It's life decision that I was at that point where I was. I'm like, okay, and I'm always up for a good challenge. So it's kind of part of it also. Like, of course, you thought about the security, about the land of contract, where I wanted. Like after that, it's like, can I win there? Yeah, as a team, I can win more. But then I kind of had the feeling, in the sense that I was so close to Pittsburgh and I wished, and I hope, nice dog, Lexi,
Thanks.
that they were gonna, forgive me for it, which is what happened, which I'm very thankful. And Pittsburgh, you look at now, it's like it's always going to be my second home. When I think about my career, I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins, I'm not a Flyers. Flyer was part of my history, and I had great moments down there. But it's the tattoo I got on my body about the Lord Stanley and everything. It's all in Pittsburgh.
Well, that's awesome to hear. So as far as your teammates that you had here, the Penguins, what was it like playing with somebody like Sidney Crosby, like Evgeny Malkin, compared to playing against them?
Well, it's very different, but it was an honor, a blessing. And I hope for everybody watching, I hope you guys realize how blessed you've been, especially, our age, you guys age, a little younger. It's like Sidney has been dominating the league for so long with Malkin. You guys had Fleury, Letang's still there.
Yeah.
For hockey fans out there, Pittsburgh is probably is the most fun team to have watched in the last 15 years. I'd say the most exciting franchise in the last 15 years. So playing with them, I've learned so much. Even though Sid was 3 years younger than me, we got in the league at the same time, and we've lived so many stuff together. From building all this team with all the young leaders we had around, and I'm looking at Jordan Staal right now, captain of the Carolina Hurricanes, and I feel like I still see him with the Penguins jersey on. So we had great deal of luck to all play together, live this. We all have still a team chat of 2009 that sometimes we send some stupid stuff on there. So very cool. Playing against them was challenging, especially that the first year I signed in Philly, we have this crazy playoff series that we have to play against each other, and there's fighting involved, and I don't know who to grab because I'm friends with everybody, and I'm like, who's the newest guy? I don't know. So that was always very challenging.
Now, in regards to this year, were you watching this year? Any thoughts on this season? I
was heartbroken because I really thought they had a great team, and game 5 there, that the goal in overtime against, I was sad because with my new work with CA, I represent Freddie Gaudreau, that had a great season for the Penguins, number 11, and he had such an amazing season, and I wished for him that he was able to keep on going and keep proving himself, and he had a great chemistry with Carter on the third line. And for the guys also, for Sid and Gino and Chris, that we know that hopefully they'll all play another 10 years for the Pens, but we don't know, we
Right,
don't know when it's
exactly.
going to end. So every
Yeah.
opportunities that they're still in the league, it's a chance they have to win, and you kind of want to maximize that, which they couldn't this year.
Yeah, I was pretty heartbroken too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I guess I have to have another beer now because I have to drink away my sorrows.
Yeah, I was the same.
So thank you again for the time. We have one last little section to wrap everything up. We're just going to do a quick round of rapid fire. So me and Lexi will go back and forth and ask you a question, and then you let us know the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't worry, it's not too
I'm nervous.
It's not bad.
You better be. Okay, so we will start off. First question. Da-na-na-na-na. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Good answer.
Like,
favorite restaurant in Pittsburgh?
Wow. Bossa Nova, but it doesn't exist.
It's not there anymore.
I know. We went there so often. Alla Familia is a great Italian spot there. It's, and Mario's, but it's not really a restaurant. But
Yeah.
I gotta send some.
Depends what time you go.
Gotta send some love to Mike out there.
Oh yeah.
I love that. Okay, so last question we have is, what is the best advice that you have ever received? Or if it's not advice, what is something that you would advise the younger generation coming up in the hockey league? What would you tell them?
Hockey is not who you are, but it's what you do. So you have to be able to separate yourself from that persona sometimes, and prepare yourself for the future. Just be able to be comfortable and with yourself, and realize that when you're 35, 36, 40 years old, 25, well, there's life after hockey. So, enjoy as much as you can, because it's a beautiful living, and share it with your friends and make the most of it, because it goes by fast.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Very nice.
Well, we do thank you again for your time. This has been super great having you and chatting with us Yinzeritas.
I love the name, guys.
I'm fangirling right now.
That's awesome.
I love it, guys. Lexi, Jane, you guys are awesome. And Yinzerita, lots of success. How many shows have you done yet?
This is our 4.
4. Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'll check them out. I haven't had a chance, but I'll check them out. Good luck with the rest, and anytime you need a little appearance, hit me up.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, Max.
So much again. We appreciate it. Enjoy.
Good luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
Well, I wouldn't want to do the show with anyone else, because we have my good friend Stephen Brault, a lefty for the Pittsburgh Pirates, on the show today. And if Pittsburgh sports fans are familiar with him, he is always entertaining. He will definitely put on a good show for us. So let's get into it. Stephen Brault. It is, you're rehabbing in Florida. You started on the IR. What happened? Like, how did you get hurt?
Well, I was pitching, and it was my 4-inning outing in spring training. So like starters build up, start 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So I had done 3 starts already. It's feeling good. I went to play catch before the game, felt great. Went to go through my bullpen, felt great. And then in the middle of the first inning, out of nowhere, I threw a pitch, and like it felt like my tricep was cramping really bad. And then it just didn't get better over the rest of the inning. So in between innings, I was like stretching it out and stuff, like, all right, just a cramp, it's fine. I went out for the second inning, did not feel good. I threw that whole inning, and then I told Chelsea I couldn't keep going. I went and got checked. Turned out it was very obviously my lat and not my tricep, but like the pain had referred itself to my lat for some strange reason. So yeah, then I got an MRI the next day, and basically told like, hey, it's going to be a while. So, it's whatever.
How do you prevent something like that from happening in the future?
If I knew, I would absolutely do it.
So you just chalk it up to bad luck.
Yeah, basically what I got from like our medical staff and stuff is like, this injury is pretty rare. It doesn't happen very often. And for the most part, yeah, it's a pitcher injury. It never happens to position players. And it's just like a freak thing where it's just like, there's really nothing you can do. So, I mean, whatever, I'll survive we all trudge on through with our dumb injuries. Just happens, you know.
Yeah. So what's your day-to-day routine now?
Let's see.
Aside from being in Florida and doing all that stuff.
Right. Well, I get up super early. So I go to bed really early. I usually go to bed like at 9 or a little bit after that. It's because like it depends on where we're playing. Like if we're playing on the West Coast, I'm sorry, but I don't think I can physically stay up until 1 a.m. right now. So I can't watch the whole game. But like right now we're playing against the Royals. It starts at 8. So I'm staying up a little bit later, but I wake up usually right before sunrise. I'm an early riser, always have been. And hi, puppy. And I wake up early. I have coffee. I sit around here for a little bit, watch the sunrise, which in Florida is super lame because it's really nice to watch the sunset at the beach because you're looking west in the Gulf side, but it's fine. It's whatever. Drink my coffee, go to the fields at like 7:30. I'm there until 12:31 doing rehab and working out and throwing. And then I have the whole day to do whatever it is that I want. So I play video games, I play piano, I sing, I watch TV shows. If anybody needs any recommendations, I think.
What are you watching right now? What are you on?
I'm rewatching Mr. Robot. This is how bad it is now that I'm rewatching shows because nothing I see is of any interest to me anymore. But I just finished Mayor
What's
of
your
Easttown.
top 3 right now? What's your top 3?
New Girl's always number 1. Yeah. It's impossible to beat New Girl. I've watched that show through so many times. Yeah, so good. Then I would go, I always say Breaking Bad, but it's such a boring answer. I did love that show, but I haven't rewatched it. And I did actually just rewatch True Detective season 1, specifically season 1 of True Detective.
Yeah.
It's like tip top.
1 is with McConaughey, right?
Yeah, 1 is McConaughey. 2 is Colin Farrell and what's the giant dude's name? Oh my gosh, what's his name?
I don't think I've seen
Vince Vaughn. Vaughn. And then the third one is Mahershala Ali. But 1 and 3 are really good. 2 is terrible. 2 is almost unwatchable to me. But yeah. So and then my third, I don't know. Like I've watched so many. I might say Turn. It's on Netflix. It was originally like TNT or something like that. But it's a show about the spies in the American Revolution. It's very good.
Oh, I bet that's really good.
Oh, it's awesome. It is so good. Strong suggest. Turn. Watch it.
Okay.
Adding it to the list.
Yeah. My list, I actually have a list of shows that I sent to JMO when he was down with Tommy John a few years ago. I made a list of shows that I had enjoyed and little synopsis, like if they were comedies or dramas and like basic plot. And I
what
sent
he's
him this
in for
huge
type
list.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you watched any of them, but I still have that list. I keep feeling like maybe I should update it because now I have so many more, you know?
Yeah. And my friend Erica, she got me on, it's on HBO. It's the Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah. Mayor of
I'm
Easttown.
in the middle of that. I'm in the middle of that.
Finale was last night or Sunday night, so I watched it. Oh my God.
Don't say anything because I'm only like 2 in.
Oh, you're in for a ride.
So Jane, do you wanna go into some pirate related questions, getting into day to day?
Yeah, so day to day seems like you're quite busy all over the place, doing a little bit of everything. So about kind of the team and where you're at, how do you adjust to new management? Like how does that play out as a player? How does it personally affect you? How do you think that transition's been for you?
That's a good question. So it's different no matter who's in charge, just because like, you know, a manager is more so the person who's making all the decisions in game and less the person that you really talk to the most. So we have what's called a bench coach, which now is Don Kelly, and DK is like the person you basically go to if you have any questions or anything, because he probably knows more than Shelty, honestly, about everything that's going on in the day-to-day stuff. And he's also way nicer. Shelty's kind of mean, but like in a cool way. You know what I mean? He's gonna hate me for saying that, but no, like Shelty's great. It's a way different relationship. Clint Hurdle was a nice guy too, but it was he was an old timer baseball guy. The way that baseball was played back when he played is different than the way it is now, and so there could be disconnects or whatever, and that's just natural. Shelty is all about the new wave of baseball, and he's really smart. He's really funny. He's really fun to talk to, and he's super open. If you ever have like a question about what's going on or anything, you can always ask him. He always says his door is always open, which everybody says, but with Shelty, I actually feel like it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when you change, it's about, you have to be willing to kind of put yourself out there, meet new people. I think the most important thing is from the get-go, being yourself, not trying to suck up too much or anything, and make people think you're somebody you're not. But yeah, I think that the changes that we've had have been really good. Honestly, I really like the new staff, and I've gotten to talk to Ben Charrington a good amount, and he's great too. But he's GM. We only talk to him when things are happening for the most part. But yeah, no, it's a good change, and I really like the direction we're going, and I like the guys. So, I can't complain. I don't get to see them very much. I still talk to Shelty. I've talked to him on the phone every now and then while I've been down here. He calls and check in and just see how everything's going. So he cares, and I like that.
Nice. Well, so more specifically about your position, so pitching coaches, how do you feel kind of with Coach Marine? How's that relationship and dynamic?
He's a good dude. It's way different. Ray was, talk about old timey stuff. Ray was straight up, old timey pitching, and really nice guy, just different, and so the things that he would discuss and talk about are a lot different than what Oscar will. And I really like Oscar. He's another guy. He's a good guy. So you can talk to him and not feel like he's going to be judging you or whatever. But also he's not afraid to get a little fiery when he has to, which I appreciate. Sometimes you need a kick in the ass. That's just the truth of the game. So I think Oscar, it does a good job of developing relationships, and like the pitching coaching specifically stuff he's done for me has been really good. It's helped me a lot. So, I can't complain. He's really short, so I guess I'll complain about that. I wish he was taller.
I wish he was taller. That's great. I love that. So when you're getting ready for a game, and I know you said your routine, usually you're going to bed early, do you prepare for each game, depending on your opponent and who you're playing? Or is it more just routine for you of like making sure you're ready just to play your game? Or how does that work? What's that like for you?
Yeah, it's kind of like a balance of both, I will say during the season, like if I'm playing and we're, the games are going late, my sleep schedule does change. It's kind of hard to go to bed at 9:00 if our game starts at 7. But,
yeah.
But like, the scheduling and everything is all about routine for what you like, which day you throw your bullpen, all that stuff in between. But when it comes to the actual preparation for the game itself, the most important thing is knowing that you are prepared and you have gotten yourself completely ready for the game. And part of that is being able to like look at the other team and kind of, some people read in the scouting reports more. We have all of the data you could possibly imagine on every hitter, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, depending on who's pitching and depending on, who's at the plate, everybody's going to have a different plan because my stuff is different than, Chad Kuhl's stuff or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to balance the getting yourself prepared with knowing the other hitters. Like there are some glaring things. It's just like, okay, you don't, whatever. Let's just say you don't throw a first pitch slider to Paul Goldschmidt. All right. That's probably not a thing. I'm just saying if that's something, then it's like something you should glaringly know, you know what I mean? So then you take those into account and then you do whatever. But I try to keep it as simple as possible because I'm not a very smart person. So if I try to go too much, I just way over my head.
Well,
And
going off of that, like saying how you don't throw the first pitch to certain people as a pitcher, who is your most difficult batter that you've faced?
Thanks. This makes me feel really good about myself.
Everyone's gonna have this answer, so
I know. So currently it's probably Chris Bryant. He's a really good hitter.
Really?
He's got a long swing, which is and he hits lefties really well. And long swings can be tough because, you know, sometimes if you try to get them out with a breaking ball or a changeup or whatever, they can extend their hands out further and still hit a home run because, you know, he's 6'5" and a huge human being, so he's super strong. But my worst by far is Matt Kemp. Who's not really playing anymore, but I think Matt Kemp is 3 for 4 off me with a 2-run double and 2 3-run home runs. So I'm glad he's gone. I don't want to have to deal with that anymore.
And I feel like we didn't like play him all that often. It's not like he was like in the division.
No, because he was with the Dodgers.
Good for you though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was with the Dodgers. The funny thing, he did go to the Reds. And I don't think I ever faced him when he was with the Reds. He wasn't there very long. But, yeah, when he was with the Dodgers, and he was like, you know, past his prime.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't the same Matt Kemp anymore. And still, there's nothing I can do. I couldn't get the guy out. I mean, I only faced him 4 times, but, you know, not good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know about that. So going off of how you even got to the majors. So you grew up San Diego area. How did you end up at a D2 school in Denver, Colorado?
Because I wasn't good enough to go D1. That's your first answer. The NCAA Division II tagline is "I chose Division II," which I always thought was the funniest thing ever. Because who really chooses Division II? You know,
I settle for Division II.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, there's also that I wanted to be a music major, and the other schools that I had talked to, the time commitments were too similar. Too many performances and rehearsals and stuff after regular school hours during baseball hours. So they wouldn't let me. But Regis University, which is where I went, was all like, "Yeah, go for it, do your thing." They're very much more focused on the academic aspect of schooling, which makes sense because it should be in general anyway. But it is a Division II school, and you know, all the guys on my team were a bunch of nerds, and it worked out really well. I loved it there. I went there for 3 years. I got to study music, and I missed a lot of baseball practices for rehearsals and performances. But you know, when I gave my big junior recital before I left, you know, there was like 12 of my teammates that all came to listen to me and watch me sing in German and French and Latin and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So they had no idea what was going on, but they came to support me. So it was a really
well,
good
it worked
experience.
out for you, missing all that baseball.
Yeah. It's I could say that. Yeah, it's really funny to think about at this point because, you know, when I went to Regis, it was like kind of all right, I'll play baseball for 4 more years competitively, and then, you know, I'll start the music chapter of my life and see where that takes me. So getting drafted was a huge surprise, and oh gosh, now I'm still playing. It's wild. It's wild.
And you still haven't dropped that musical aspect from your life or career either. So, I mean, it's no secret that people know that you do both, and you're a singer, musician, all that stuff.
I'm learning to be a musician. I'm more so just a singer.
You're good.
I'm getting there. I'm working on it. I did play piano earlier today, so I got my daily playing in. So that's good.
So are you self-taught?
Yeah. I mean, I use like programs like online, you know, like tutor programs online, but I've never. I did technically take a semester of piano in college because I had to. And I really, really wish I had taken it every semester because it was free and really should have done that. That was really stupid. But yeah, so I'm kind of teaching myself and just playing along. I just want to learn it well enough so I can play along to when I sing, and then maybe eventually later in life actually get good at it. We'll see.
So still on the topic of music in your career, now that you've been in Pittsburgh you're probably one of the most tenure players on the team at this point. I think maybe like one or two other guys maybe been there just
Polanco,
as long.
Cool.
I was thinking Stallings.
Stallings came up after I did.
Okay, and what about Adam Frazier?
Oh yeah, Frazier's in front of me. So
those are the only handful of guys, but you had the opportunity to sing with the Pittsburgh Symphony 2 years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did that opportunity come about?
So this is the one credit I will take for any of this is that I decided to put myself out there and volunteer to sing the national anthem before our games. I've done it twice. And I did that in the minor leagues with the Orioles a few times before I came over to the Pirates. And I really wanted to do it in the big leagues, or more so my grandma really wanted me to do it in the big leagues. Got to make grandma happy. So I did it. And, you know, that's the one credit I'll take for this. Other than that, some people reached out to help me make a Broadway album in LA a few off seasons ago, which was super fun, amazing experience. And then because of that, then I got to meet some Broadway people, and then meeting Broadway people, then I got to make more connections. And then the people from it's a guy named Scott Coulter. He does On Spot Entertainment, but he reached out and basically was like, hey, you know, I would love to do this show with you in Pittsburgh. We're doing a Broadway show. I think it'd be really fun. And so I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say no, you know, like that'd be awesome. So it was just an amazing experience getting to sing at Heinz Hall with the PSO, just like everybody so much better than me. And I'm just walking in like, oh, I play baseball. Yeah, sing too, you know, and I loved it though. It was so much fun.
How do your teammates handle your singing career? Are they supportive, or do they give you a hard time?
No, they're supportive. I actually think Josh Bell came to one of my performances because he was living in Pittsburgh at the time. But no, I think they're pretty supportive. I sing to them in the showers, you know, lift up their spirits, you know, do whatever.
I'm sure they miss that. I think that's what's missing right now.
Yeah. That's what it is. But yeah, no, they support me. It's one of those things where maybe when I was a kid, I got made fun of for it, and like I took it to heart, and I would be like, oh, you know, that's really mean, whatever. But you know, I grew up, so I do what I want to do. I love singing, so like, you know, whatever. It's part of me, who I am. It's fun.
And so being that, I mean, you've been in Pittsburgh, or maybe not physically, but you've been here a long time. So what are some of your favorite places here? And that can be anything. We're big food girls here, so it can be restaurant related or activity or anything like that.
Okay, well, it's called Yinzeritas, right? So I assume that's like a play on senoritas. Am I right?
Well, there's a drink
called a Yinzerita. I was thinking it was, is there really? So, okay, I was going to say, I think it's margaritas. That's initially what I thought it was.
Okay, so you know the margarita where they put the upside down Corona.
It's a Yingling.
No.
Oh, it's in Iron City.
Yeah, it's an icy light mango. It's an icy light mango instead of a Corona. And they call it, well, it was at Steel Cactus. I know a lot of other places have it. It's called a Yinzerita.
Okay, I'll have to try it sometime. But I'm going to be honest, doesn't sound like it'll be my favorite.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do. I've lived in Lawrenceville the last few years. I love Lawrenceville, Butler Street. All the bars and restaurants and cafes down there are awesome. I really like that kind of hipstery vibe. That's kind of more my thing. But my favorite breakfast place in Pittsburgh is the Ace Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Which is in East Liberty, and it is incredible.
I love it.
Let's see. My favorite dinner place is I can't believe I'm not remembering it. Monterey, is that what it's called?
Monterey Bay.
Yeah.
Mount Washington.
Yes, that place is incredible. Views are great. Food is delicious. Yeah. So Monterey Bay is my favorite restaurant, and then, man, so I think my favorite. Man, what would I say my favorite bar is? I don't know. There's a lot of good ones. I really like Cinderlands. I think it's a
Oh
brewery
yeah.
in Lawrenceville.
Uh-huh. It's in the
And
strip.
then yeah. What's
Yeah.
the pizza place down there called?
Oh, the Driftwood.
Driftwood. Oh, Driftwood is so good.
Yeah.
I crush Driftwood.
I remember like Chris Archer was real big into Driftwood.
Mm-hmm. So
Like
is JMO.
yeah, like it was like every other day they were there. Like,
Yeah.
okay, relax.
It's fun, they love it. They love having us there, and we sometimes they'll hook us up, they'll help us out. But I spent a lot of time at the Clementi Museum, which there's a winery there attached to it, and it's called it's got a name now. I don't it starts with
Engine
a B.
House.
Engine
Oh.
House? Isn't there like a breakfast place or something attached to it now?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't
It's
been
been
there
a while, so but I used to live right next to that, so I would be there all the time.
Well, I mean, they're all good answers. Definitely
right?
agree. I'll definitely agree with them. So just to wrap up a little bit here, thank you for your time. So basically, we usually ask people either the best advice that you've got so far, either in life or in your career, if you have that. Or I was going to ask so far, what has been the biggest highlight of your baseball career?
Okay. Let's see. The best advice is tough. I think it all depends on who you are as a person. I think for me, the best advice I ever got was actually from my high school choir teacher, who told me that there was no way I would ever be successful in either baseball or music if I did both in college.
Wow.
And we were really close, and he said that, and it really hurt me, and I hated it. And then I realized later that he said that because he knew it's what I needed to hear, because it would challenge me to do what I needed to do. So he played the bad guy in my life for about a year, to kind of inspire me. So that he knew that's what would help me. But that's not going to help everybody. Not everybody needs somebody to talk down to them. So I don't know. And highlight moments, major league debut in St. Louis is probably number one. My second would be my first complete game last year against St. Louis at home. I wish there had been fans there for that. That would have been really cool, but it was still super fun.
I saw it.
You absolutely do not count. You work for the Pirates. That is not how this works.
I witnessed it.
Did you clap when the game ended?
Yeah, I think we all did. We were upstairs in the control room.
Oh yeah, I definitely heard it from the field.
You didn't hear it through the fake crowd noise that we were playing?
No. Oh my gosh, so loud. Did you ever? Okay, there was one game we were at home last year where the crowd noise like cut off for some weird reason. Don't know what happened, but it was like the middle of the third inning, crowd noise completely cut off, and it was the eeriest feeling ever. Because like at first you're like, the crowd noise is weird.
It is.
But then you get used to it, and then like it was gone, and it was like, oh no, it's terrible.
Yeah,
turn it back.
It's like the awkward like white noise in the background that you kind of need.
Yeah, it's not just completely silent. I mean, literally, like if I were to try to have a conversation with somebody in the dugout, the next dugout would be able to have a conversation with us. I don't like.
Yeah. Well, back to normal now. I know you won't experience it till at least another month or so, but it'll be fun.
Thanks for rubbing in my face.
Just look forward to it. Something to look forward to.
I am really looking forward to it, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive about the progression of everything. So I'm feeling very positive, which is nice. I need to shave, which I am just now noticing. I'm letting myself fall apart out here, but Pirate City tends to make you a little crazy. You got to check yourself every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation that we probably don't have time for.
Let's not get into that.
We won't get into that. But thank you so much for taking time away from the sun to come and talk to us. And
I'm pretty upset about it.
Yeah, well, we'll let you go, and then you can go back to enjoying your day.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me on. This is so nice. And I will try a Yinzerita in honor of you two Yinzeritas.
Okay, when you come up here, I'll make sure, and then we'll take a picture, and then we'll We'll say that you've officially had a
I've
Yinzerita.
officially had it. I tried it, even if I hated it.
I'll hold you to it.
So pit, oh yeah, Yins are crazy. This is it right here, Yins are crazy. So pit, oh yeah, Yins are crazy. This is it right here, Yins are crazy.
I know Yins are crazy, but so am I. Number one sports site in the Berg, let me show you why. The latest stories and unbeatable podcast with your favorite